You've been lied to. From the moment you threw a leg over your first bike, you've been bombarded with 1,000 so-called rules. Passed down from grizzled veterans at the local bike night, echoed in forums by keyboard warriors, and even taught by instructors who haven't updated their curriculum since the invention of the disc brake. They all start the same way. You should always, or a real rider, never. And they're delivered with the gravity of divine law. But here's the brutal truth most of them don't want you to know. A huge chunk of that advice is complete, grade A, dangerously outdated nonsense. It's a collection of myths, half-truths, and ego-driven dogma that doesn't make you a better rider. It makes you a more predictable, less adaptable, and ultimately, a more vulnerable one. New riders absorb this stuff like a sponge, follow it religiously, and then wonder why they feel clumsy, why their bike feels wrong, or worse, why they ended up in a ditch. They learn the hard way that real-world skill and critical thinking will save your life, while blind obedience to a slogan will get you hurt. These myths are a virus in the riding community, and today, we're exposing them. We're dragging them into the light and stomping them out. Before we begin this crusade, if you're tired of the dogma and you believe in riding with your brain, not just with the throttle, then do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel is for thinkers, for riders who question everything, and your support helps us fight the flood of bad advice. Join the community and let's get smarter together. Now, let's get to it. These are the motorcycle rules that are pure BS, and it's time we all stopped following them. Number 1. The sacred staggered formation. This is the first commandment drilled into every group rider's head. Ride in a staggered formation, 1 second behind the rider directly in front of you, 2 seconds behind the rider in your part of the lane. Never break it. It's presented as the peak of group riding safety and discipline. And in a perfect world, on a wide, straight, empty highway, with no cross traffic and no surprises, it's fine. It looks neat. It keeps the group compact. But the moment reality intrudes, the staggered formation transforms from a safety strategy into a rigid, unforgiving cage. Think about it. You're riding in the left side of the lane, your escape route, your primary path to swerve away from. A sudden obstacle, a pothole, a car door opening, a deer, is the right side of the lane. But in a staggered formation, who's there? Your lane buddy. Your escape path is now occupied by another two-wheeled vehicle. Your margin for error has been sliced in half, all in the name of looking like a synchronized parade float. The road gets tight and twisty. That rigid formation forces riders into bad lines, making them cross the center or run wide because they're more focused on maintaining their spot than on navigating the corner correctly. A real, experienced ride leader knows this. They know that formations must be dynamic. The road dictates the position, not the other way around. On a technical road, you switch to single file, giving everyone the full lane to choose their line and maintain their safety buffer. When it opens up, you can stagger again. But there are ride captains out there, drunk on their own ego, who will get angry if you dare to drop back into single file for safety. They care more about the appearance of control than the actual safety of their group. That's not leadership. It's a power trip. Smart riding is fluid. It's about adapting. Blindly holding a formation is the opposite of that. Number 2. The factory suspension setting is gospel. Don't touch it. The engineers in Japan know more than you do. You hear this all the time. Riders treat their preload, compression, and rebound adjusters like they're part of a nuclear launch sequence. They believe the factory set the bike up perfectly. and any attempt to change it will ruin the bike's handling forever. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think the factory set that suspension up for? Was it for you, a 220-pound rider who carries a backpack and rides on cracked city pavement? Or was it for you, a 130-pound rider who loves carving through pristine canyon roads? No, it was set up for a hypothetical average-sized test rider, probably around 165 pounds, riding on a smooth, predictable test track. That person is not you. Your weight, your height, your riding style, the roads you ride on, the luggage you carry, the passenger you might have, all of it is different. Factory suspension is, by its very nature, a one-size-fits-none compromise. Yet, people will ride for thousands of miles on a bike that dives like a submarine under braking, wallows through corners like a sick pig, or kicks them out of the seat over every bump, all because they're afraid to turn a screw. They'll meticulously check their tire pressure but won't dare to adjust their sag. It's insanity. Learning about your suspension is one of the single biggest improvements you can make to your bike's performance and your own confidence. You're not trying to re-engineer the bike. You're personalizing it. You're telling it who is riding it. Read your owner's manual, watch some tutorials, and start with small, documented changes. Adjust the preload to set your sag correctly for your weight. That alone is a game changer. Then, make small adjustments to rebound and compression to fine-tune the feel. Count the clicks. Write them down. If you don't like it, you can always go back to the original setting. The factory doesn't know best. You do, once you take the time to listen to what your bike is telling you. Number 3. Always use the highest gear possible to save fuel. This one sounds so logical on the surface, which is what makes it so pervasive. The thinking is simple. Lower RPMs mean the engine is working less, which must mean it's using less fuel. So, people shift up to 6th gear as soon as they hit 40 miles per hour, letting the engine chug along just above idle. They think they're being hyper-efficient, a master of fuel economy. What they're actually doing is slowly and painfully murdering their engine. This practice is called lugging, and it is terrible for your bike. When you're in too high a gear for your speed, every time you try to accelerate, you're putting immense strain on the crankshaft, connecting rods and pistons. The engine struggles, vibrates, and shudders. It's the mechanical equivalent of trying to walk up a steep hill in the highest gear on a bicycle. Instead of an efficient, smooth power delivery, you get a jerky, unhappy mess. And here's the kicker. It's not even more fuel efficient. An engine has an optimal efficiency range, a sweet spot in the RPMs where it produces power most effectively. Riding far below that range or lugging it can actually increase fuel consumption because the engine is laboring so hard. Worse than the fuel economy is the safety aspect. You're trundling along in 6th gear with the engine barely turning over. Suddenly, a car pulls out in front of you. You need to accelerate out of trouble. What happens? You twist the throttle, and nothing. Just a sad, vibrating chug. You have zero power on tap. You've traded your bike's life-saving agility for a few pennies. You probably aren't even saving at the pump. Your gearbox is there for a reason. Use it. Keep the bike in the part of the power band where it feels happy, smooth, and responsive. Shifting is a skill, not a chore. Number 4. You have to match the group's style to belong. This is the ugly, tribal side of motorcycling. It's the unwritten rule that says your choice of machine defines your worth as a rider. You roll up to a cruiser meetup on a sport tourer and you get the cold shoulder. You bring a shiny ADV bike to a hardcore sport bike gathering and you get condescending looks. And heaven forbid you show up to a brand-specific rally on a bike from a rival manufacturer. The message is clear, even if it's unspoken. You're not one of us. You don't belong here. This is nothing more than high school clique mentality with more expensive toys. It's complete and utter nonsense. A true rider, a person who genuinely loves the act of riding, doesn't give a damn what you're on. They care about how you ride. Are you safe? Are you predictable? Do you respect the other riders and the rules of the road? Do you handle your machine with competence? That's what matters. Not the logo on your gas tank or the number of cylinders between your legs. But this tribalism is pushed hard, creating imaginary walls between riders. It stifles the community. Some of the best, most memorable rides are the ones with a motley crew of bikes. A cruiser, a sport bike, a naked, and a dual sport all navigating the same road, each with its own character, each rider enjoying the shared experience. That's what motorcycling should be about. A shared passion that transcends brand loyalty and style stereotypes. So, if a group ever tells you that you can't ride with them because your bike is the wrong kind, you should thank them. They've just saved you from a day of riding with insecure, closed-minded posers. Find riders who welcome the machine and judge the person riding it. Those are your people. Number 5. Washing your bike frequently will damage it. There's a strange pride some riders take in having a filthy motorcycle. They wear the road grime like a badge of honor and look at a clean, polished bike with suspicion. Don't wash it too often, they'll warn. You'll get water in the electrics. You'll rust the bearings. You'll ruin the finish. This myth is born from a combination of laziness and incompetence. Yes, if you take a high-pressure washer and aim it directly into your switchgear, your wheel bearings, or your bike's ECU, you're going to have a very bad day. But that's not washing your bike. That's water jetting your bike like an idiot. What's actually damaging your motorcycle is letting a thick paste of brake dust, road salt, chain lube fling, and bug guts bake onto every surface for months on end. That concoction is corrosive. It eats away at clear coats, pits chrome, corrodes aluminum fasteners, and degrades rubber and plastic components. A clean bike is a healthy bike. More importantly, a clean bike is an inspected bike. When you are carefully washing and drying your motorcycle, you are touching and looking at every single part of it. It's during this process that you'll spot the small oil leak before it becomes a big one. You'll notice the nail in your tire. You'll find the loose bolt on your caliper. You'll see the beginning of a crack in a bracket. Hiding those problems under a layer of dirt doesn't make them go away. It just ensures that when you finally discover them, it will be a much bigger and more expensive surprise. There are countless safe ways to clean a bike, from a gentle 2-bucket wash to waterless spray cleaners and microfiber towels. Neglect is not a maintenance strategy. So wash your bike. Take pride in it. It's not just about looks. It's about mechanical sympathy and safety. Number 6. Modifying your bike destroys its resale value. This is the anthem of the motorcycle investor, the person who treats their bike less like a passion and more like a stock certificate. Keep out worried. It 100% stock, they preach. Every modification you make is just money you're throwing away. You'll never get it back when you sell it. And so, people ride bikes that don't fit them, with uncomfortable seats, terrible suspension, and an exhaust note like a sewing machine, all to preserve the hypothetical value for a future unknown owner. This mindset is fundamentally flawed. You bought the bike for you, for your enjoyment, right now. Not for the next guy, 3 years from now. The idea that all modifications are bad for resale is a gross oversimplification. Sure, if you take a hacksaw to the rear fender, Install a ridiculously loud, untuned exhaust and cover it in cheap, tasteless stickers. You are absolutely going to narrow your pool of potential buyers and hurt the value. But tasteful, functional, and reversible modifications can often increase a bike's desirability. Think about it. A quality aftermarket seat that fixes a notoriously bad stock one. A well-tuned suspension upgrade. A quality slip-on exhaust that sounds good without being obnoxious. Upgraded lighting for better visibility. These are things a savvy buyer will appreciate. They see a bike that has been cared for and intelligently improved by an owner who knew what they were doing. What really kills resale value is neglect disguised as originality. A stock bike with squared-off 7-year-old tires, a rusty chain, and faded plastic is worth far less than a thoughtfully modified bike that's been meticulously maintained. So, modify your bike to make it yours. Make it fit you better, perform better, and be safer. Keep the stock parts in a box if you're worried about it. But don't sacrifice your own riding enjoyment on the altar of imaginary resale value. Experience you have on a bike that is perfectly set up for you is worth far more than a few $100 on Craigslist down the road. Number 7. If there's tread on your tires, they're good to go. This is perhaps the single most dangerous piece of BS on this entire list, because it's a myth that can get you killed. You see it all the time. A rider points to their tires, which still have visible grooves, and proudly declares, "Look, plenty of life left in them." What they don't understand, or choose to ignore, is that tread depth is only one small part of the tire safety equation. The real enemy is time. Motorcycle tire compounds are complex. They are designed to be soft, pliable, and sticky to provide grip. But over time, through exposure to oxygen, UV light, and heat cycles from riding, that rubber degrades. It hardens, becomes brittle, and loses its ability to grip the road. A 5-year-old tire with full tread depth can have a fraction of the grip of a brand new tire. It might feel fine riding in a straight line on a warm, dry day, but the moment you need it to perform, in a sudden braking situation, in the rain, on a cold morning, or leaned over in a corner, that hard, aged rubber will simply let go with no warning. On the sidewall of every tire is a DOTI code, and the last 4 digits tell you the week and year it was manufactured. A code of 3221 means it was made in the 32nd week of 2021. Most manufacturers and safety experts agree that a motorcycle tire should be replaced after 5 to 6 years, regardless of how much tread is left. People who brag about riding on 10-year-old tires aren't skilled. They are lucky, and their luck will eventually run out. Your tires are the only 2 patches of contact between you and the asphalt, each about the size of a credit card. Don't gamble with them. Trusting a tire just because it looks okay is a fatal mistake. I could go on for hours, but this is a solid start. The world of motorcycling is filled with this kind of dogma. The key isn't to learn a new set of rules, it's to develop the critical thinking skills to evaluate any piece of advice that comes your way. Ask why. Understand the physics. Think about the context. Don't just blindly copy what someone else does, because you don't know if they even know what they're doing. A smart rider isn't the one who knows all the rules. It's the one who knows which rules are worth breaking. So what about you? What's the worst piece of motorcycle BS you've ever been told? Let me know in the comments below. Let's build a library of these myths so new riders can avoid them. If this video made you think, hit that like button to help spread the word, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next time we call out the nonsense. Ride smart, ride safe, and ride your own ride.